Hey fiends, DonnaJean here. Samhain is approaching. It's our favorite time of year, not only with bats and witches and ghoulies and ghosties and long-leggedy beasties and things that go bump in the night, but Halloween is the only holiday that neighborhoods come together to do things for children. What a wonderful, wonderful thing that is. But I realize that right now, there's some difficulty in the world. There's a lot of illness. There's a lot of angst. There's a lot of depression and anger. So I asked some of my wonderful friends if they would share their favorite Halloween memory with you. Please enjoy them. Sit back, kick your feet up, get those pumpkins out, and have a happy Halloween.
Rita Christine here from such films as Radioactive Flesh-Eating Foliage, Return of the Slasher Nurse, and Bloody Summer Camp. I'm here to share one of my favorite Halloween memories. Halloween was hard growing up. I lived in a very small rural community surrounded by a lot of Amish, so we didn't get really to trick-or-treat much, but when we did, it wasn't all that great. So when I became an adult and having children of my own, I took him trick-or-treating quite often, but it still wasn't the best feeling. My favorite memory was after moving to Maryland, and the community I live in celebrates Halloween on Halloween night every year. It doesn't matter what day it falls on, it's always Halloween night. I have gone all out and I decorate. I fabricate my decorations. I have themes every year, and my absolute favorite memory so far was last year. We did a graveyard scene, and my stepfather actually got to come for the first and only time before he passed this year. So that is truly my favorite Halloween memory so far. So happy Halloween, everybody. Stay safe. Get lots of candy.
Hey everyone, this is Dave from the Popcorn Confessional and 5 Things, and I am sharing my Halloween memory. Now, for me, Halloween's always been a mixed bag of tricks and treats. Really. I've had really good Halloweens, I've had really shitty Halloweens, which that's not what this is about. So, I would like to talk about a few different things in my Halloween memories, but I have 4 kids, and choosing one of those memories just isn't fair to any of them. So I'm going to go way, way back, and actually Ryan, who brought us one of the first Halloween memories, brought it up. So when I was a kid, I think my mom had that Munchausen disease because I was apparently sick all the time as a kid. Now I'm hardly sick. Anyway, what I used to do as a kid is, the school I went to, we had a library in elementary. We went there, and there was always this book on making your house into a haunted house. So in the 3rd grade through maybe the 5th or 6th grade, every Halloween, I would transform the inside of my house into a haunted house. So, it would have everything: spiders dropping from doorways, bodies hidden in the bathtub or placed somewhere else in the house. I even rigged my faucet to turn on and off when you pass by. And what I would do is I would invite my friends over, like Ryan and a few others. And what we would do is we would go through the house as if it was a haunted attraction. And a lot of my friends still bring that up every so often when I talk to them. It's like, oh man, you remember when you did that haunted house? In fact, one of my friends, Mike, that I just talked to a few weeks ago, he's like, man, your dad used to do a great job with rigging up the haunted house. It's like, no, that was all me. So I used to put together the haunted house, and if you go and check out some of our past videos when we were Women in Horror, you'll see what I've done to the front of the yard. Now I've brought the haunted house from inside to outside. So that is my memory for Halloween. And I'd like to say, for everybody that's contributed, thank you. Everybody that's watched, thank you, thank you, thank you. And happy Halloween. See ya.
Hey folks, this is Chetty. I guess if I had to think of, I don't know if I have a favorite Halloween memory. As most of you should know, Halloween. I'm not the horror guy. That I leave that to Dave, and I leave that to a lot of the other members of NERD. But I will say, I will give you one of my most I guess notable memories. I was probably, let's see, 10, maybe 11 years old, and my mother was bringing my brother and I, a friend of hers and her son, to a haunted mansion out in, I want to say Sussex, New Jersey. I don't know. We go out there at 9 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. This is a very vivid memory. I'm 38 years old in a couple months, and I can remember this like it was yesterday. Later at night, 8, 9 o'clock at night, place is packed, and I remember you used to have to go into this preliminary sort of building to pay for your tickets, and then you had to cross a street, and then you go into the mansion, and the mansion was huge. I was little, so maybe it wasn't huge. I just remember it being huge. And you could hear people screaming and the sound effects and all this other kind of stuff and whatever. So, I'm being the brave older brother and like tough kid. It's got to be fired. I'm gonna put you in the belly. That kind of stuff. And we walk across the street, and they opened the gate. From what I remember, they did a great job. If I could have appreciated it back then, I would have more. So they open this gate. There's fog, and it's like gloomy out, and it's like the perfect setting. Well, apparently, they, like a lot of haunted houses I've learned over the years, is that they usually hire cheap labor. They hire college students, high school students, whatever. There's no exception with this one. So we walk through the gates, and they immediately jump scare you. And it was like, okay, I got scared once, twice. And then there was this kid, and he runs up to me with a hockey mask and a fucking chainsaw, like a real chainsaw. Now, I'm sure, looking back on it now, there's no chain in it, obviously, but the thing's running, and it's the whole fucking time, and I drop to the ground, go into the fetal goddamn position, and I'm crying like a baby. I mean, I am reduced to a puddle of mush. And the guy, from what I'm told, after the fact, by my mother and her friend, the guy stood over me for like a good, 30 seconds to a minute maybe, and he kept like jabbing motion with the chainsaw into me, and it took my mother and her friend Marianne to like kind of get him away, and I was freaking out. And long story longer, they what they ended up doing was they took me like behind the scenes of the mansion. There's like escape routes because it's a business. There's got to be like fire exits in case stuff like that happens. I don't know why I couldn't go out the front gate because I was right there. Like I was right at the front gate. I don't understand why that didn't happen. But I had to go through the haunted mansion, but I did it all from behind the scenes. So I'm walking through like really narrow ladders and like gantries and stuff like that. And that's kind of what I'm doing. So I get out. My mother is livid. Marianne is livid. Like they are pissed off. And they went through the whole I don't remember if my mother did or not. I feel like she might have been with me the whole time. But that maybe not though, because as I recall, it was like very narrow. Like there was not a lot of room. But they were in the face of the frickin' whoever was running the show or the people behind the counter or whatever. They were losing their minds. Like, how the fuck do you have somebody get up to a little kid and jam a chainsaw in their face? How do you do that to somebody? He's probably scarred for life. And here I am at 37 years old, sharing it with the NERD community. So maybe I am scarred for life. But yeah. But what it kind of did in a weird way is that, it revealed to me as a kid that, you know, there's a behind the scenes. It's literally all smoke and mirrors. It wasn't real. You know what I mean? And I think I guess that's a positive thing I can take from it. I don't know. I've come to love horror movies and slasher movies ever since, and I don't love Halloween. It's not my favorite holiday. I love it because I have a kid, and that's great. But you know, it's never been my thing. More of a Christmas guy myself. But um, but it definitely it you know, it made things a little bit more I don't know, palatable after that in a weird way. I don't really understand why. But anyway, so that's my memory. That's my Halloween memory, and I hope all you guys stay tuned for some nerdboxery. I like that nerdboxery that's coming out in the next coming weeks. We got some new five things. Lady Donna, she's got a new show, I believe, that's premiering soon. We got some hot takes, I'm sure, that are gonna be coming up. And a whole bunch of other stuff, some reviews, you name it, it's there. So make sure click like, subscribe, comment below, all that kind of good stuff, and we will see you round the band.
Hi, Fiends. DonnaJean here, and I'm here to invite the amazing Hayden Newman to share her favorite Halloween message with us.
Oh, okay. Well, my favorite Halloween memory, which is kind of funny because Halloween is my favorite time of the year. I would have to say it was a prank that was played on me. I didn't find it too funny at the time. Some friends of mine decided, we were all at a Halloween party, and one of them decided they were going to dress up as Michael Myers and hide. And you know, that mask is very, when you see that mask, you know it. Well, they hid, and I was walking into the house, and he kind of like popped out behind a tree, and I was like, oh no, nobody's dressed up like that here. So I freaked out, and I went and told everybody. They were like, what? And then he like charged in like he was going to attack us. I didn't think it was funny at the time, but now I think it was hilarious. But yeah, that would be one of my favorite Halloween memories. So yeah. And I hope that everybody has a safe and happy Halloween and have an amazing time, and happy Halloween.
Hey, horror fans. This is Mike Slater from Red Duke Games, and Donna asked me to give you a little Halloween story. So I'm going to tell the story of a Halloween party. Halloween is like Christmas at our house. Always have a big party, always has a theme. One year, we let my 5-year-old son, Daniel, pick the theme, and he chose Batman. He's holding the camera, so I'm sure he's really thrilled about this right now. Anyway, I thought, great, Batman, this will be awesome. We decorated the whole house with Batman stuff, and he got in his little Batman costume, and we were ready to, get the party started, and all his friends were coming in, and I ran upstairs and I put on like a full-size, like real Batman costume. And I came jumping down the steps in a swirl of pleather and landed directly in front of Daniel. And he looked up at me and burst into tears. And like any good father, of course, I grabbed him by his little bat collars and said, "Why are you crying? Tell me." And he looked up at me and said, "I'm Batman." And I thought, oh crap, I just ruined the kid's party. Well, our party, his theme. And I said, "Wait here." And I ran back upstairs in a swirl of pleather and changed into Darth Vader costume. and came back down the stairs where he was waiting for me, and I said, "Batman, I'm your father." And he grinned, and Halloween was saved. And that's my Halloween story. Thanks, Daniel.
Beverly here. DonnaJean asked me to tell you about a special Halloween, or special memories about Halloween. And I have a lot of them, but the most special memory for me is going trick-or-treating to Bob Hope's house. We live in an area where there's a lot of celebrities, and when we were little, we'd get all dressed up and go over to his house and walk the whole neighborhood and ring his doorbell. And a butler would answer in the full, gorgeous butler uniform, and he'd stand there with two trays of silver trays. One had silver dollars in it, and the other one had big candy bars. And you got to take one of each, a silver dollar and a candy bar. And every year he did that when we were little, and it was so much fun and so nice and so elegant, and it's just such a special memory. It's a way of giving back, I guess, for them. You know, here, children, here's $1. You know, that was a lot back then. Anyway, so everyone have a wonderful holiday season. Happy Halloween, and thank you.
Hey everybody, this is Matt Burns, from Nightmares on Main Street, among other things. And like I said, this is for DonnaJean's Coffee House of Horror. Been a long time fan, and I have a bit of an odd Halloween story for you guys. It was actually last year, 2020. Of course, March 2020, everything got locked down. Everything was, it was a world of uncertainty, with the pandemic and the COVID and everything like that. I mean, we didn't even know if we were going to be able to ever leave our houses again. We were in quarantine and all this crazy stuff was happening. So, last Halloween, I actually got to spend it, outdoors with people. I actually got to spend it at Creekside Manor, local haunted house or whatever, which Donna Jean has actually been to, because that's where we're also filming the independent film Killed on Arrival, with Julianne Prescott and among other people. And the great thing was that yes, it was, and we had Sonia Thompson from The Walking Dead. Sonia is a dear friend of mine for a few years now, and it was great to be out and see Sonia and see the people and see my friends and see everything that was going on and whatnot. It was just very reassuring that Halloween to see the haunted house going and everybody having fun again, even though we were wearing masks and saw the hand sanitizer. It was still a wonderful experience, and it gave us hope for the future, and now, we've come even further, now, there's places that we don't have to wear the masks everywhere if we don't want to. We have vaccines, we have, everything. I mean, it was just very hopeful and very, it was a good thing to see, everybody, having fun and, being out of our houses and out of the shadow, out of, just being out and about. It was just a wonderful experience. So yeah, that was a great Halloween memory. I'm sure I have more from when I was kids and whatnot, but I really thought that one was very uplifting, especially given the situation. So again, it was great to be on the show. Great to tell you guys about that. We're running Creekside this year. We're about to hopefully finish up Killed on Arrival this year. Hopefully COVID won't rear its ugly head, and we'll get to finish it this November. So thank you guys for listening. It was great. It was great to see everybody, and great to talk to DonnaJean as always. And happy Halloween!
Hey, what's up, guys? Glenn Payne here, film director of Driven, Killer Concept, and other things. And you can watch those guys for free on Tubi and Amazon. But I'm here to talk to you about my favorite Halloween memories, courtesy of the lovely Miss DonnaJean. She's so great. For me, it would absolutely have to be just trick-or-treating in general. That feeling of the sun's gone down, it's dark, it's chilly, you got your costume on, and the wind's blowing, leaves across the street, and people are giggling and screaming and whatever as they walk around with their families and their costumes and their candy. And I love that feeling, and I miss it as an adult. I find myself trying to recapture that. I love seeing it in other movies. I would love to put it in my own films going forward when it's applicable. But yeah, if you're going through anything tough, just remember that Halloween is not too far away, and that's exciting. And remember, you got this. as the card says. So I hope you guys have a wonderful and very happy Halloween.
My favorite Halloween memory is actually it's not just one condensed to 1 year. It's a tradition that my friends and I started years ago, just like in our 20s, and that was a Halloween party. And I've just had so many fond memories with my friends throughout the years doing this, like, and the costumes, the laughs, the talks, everything we've done. Everything was just done up perfectly. And like, when I go back to that, we're a little older now. We don't get together as much anymore. Kids will do that as much as I love them. But yeah, thinking back on those parties, they were my most memorable. It's the time where, for the holiday I love the most, to be able to sit there and like just have a great time celebrating it. And conversations are always important to me. So I think back very fondly about many times, and just the awesome costumes I brought to it. There's so many of them, and they were wonderful. But I will tell you that I'll give you one more. The Charlie Brown hole in the costume is probably the favorite costume I've ever done. So that's my Halloween memory, and I appreciate it. And thank you all for listening, and happy Halloween.
My most fondest Halloween memory would probably be 6 years ago. It was actually my wedding. I got to marry the woman of my dreams that I love very much. We had a really great, awesome wedding. We actually did a DC Villains horror esque wedding. We had this big mansion. We made it look like Arkham Asylum. I was dressed up as the Joker. My wife was dressed up as Harley Quinn. All of our brides, maids, and groomsmen all were dressed up as different DC and Marvel villains. It was a lot of fun. All my friends and family were there. We even had a fun little coming out. I remember, like, I came out to Prince's Party Man, the same scene from the 1988 Batman movie, where Jack Nicholson goes into the art gallery. We had a fun little dance motif going on. It was so great. My wife looked absolutely stunning as Harley Quinn. She got this beautiful Harley Quinn-esque like wedding dress. It was absolutely gorgeous. She actually came out to Jessica Lange's Gods and Monsters from American Horror Story. It was just such a beautiful time. My dad was so proud of me, just gave me the biggest smile on his face, and could just tell that he was absolutely, happy for me, and could just tell I did really good, and he was so proud of me, and it meant the world to me. And I couldn't ask for a better Halloween than to be able to say I got to marry the woman that I love so much.
Buzz Hassan, one half of the creative team on the Living Corpse comic book, and I'm sharing with you today my favorite Halloween memory. Maybe say 20 years ago, I went to school for makeup effects, special makeup effects for film and television, and I got a lucky opportunity to work at the Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. And I gotta say, as a fan of horror movies and growing up in video stores for years, it was awesome to be there in the park with the energy and everyone excited about Halloween and getting in costume and playing a different part to entertain, lots of fans that were coming through the park, and being on the crew and being a makeup artist, very young, impressionable, up-and-coming artist. It was awesome to see all the talent and creativity. There wasn't one actor in the park that wasn't passionate about something and working towards, making their dreams, a reality. And that small part by playing a character to part, I think, was part of it. So for me, being a makeup artist, for the season that I got to work there, was a true awesome experience, and I think about it often. Some of the cool makeups we did were a lot of zombie stuff, and the Beetlejuice Graveyard Review, which I'm not sure if they still do, but was an awesome, had an awesome run at Universal Studios Florida. And yeah, so that was my favorite Halloween memory, was working as a makeup artist at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. You can check out my work at BuzzCorpse, BUZCORPSE on Instagram. And if you have a local comic book shop, you can check out The Living Corpse and various other books like Hatchet, which you may be familiar with, Adam Green's film series, and Camp Crystal Latte on Instagram. We're also doing some coffee labels over there, some pretty good stuff. Check out our friends' stuff. And have a happy Halloween, everyone. Thanks.
Hi, this is Adrienne King from Friday the 13th, and I'm here to share a Halloween memory with you. I grew up in an area that really didn't have trick-or-treaters, so when I moved to a neighborhood in Los Angeles later and I was an adult, I decided I was going to really enjoy it and dressed up as a witch. I love dressing up as a witch, and I realized I had this great wig and a hat and the whole thing, and the makeup and the nails and this fabulous black gown, and I would wait until the kids would come up and trick-or-treat, and I'd open the door and I'd go, "Yes, what do you want?" And they go, "Oh," and then I'd go, "All right, trick or treat, here you go." But after that, they would line up the next year and go, "Where's the witch? Where's the witch?" So for the next 8 years, I had to dress up as a witch, and all the kids, I saw them grow up, and then I moved to Oregon in the boonies, so we have no more trick-or-treaters, but those 10 years were so much fun. Happy Halloween!
What's up, guys? So let me share with you a Halloween memory that I have. I had many Halloween memories from the times going to my friend David Partenio's house, and always having like a haunted house, and those are always good memories. But I'm going to tell you about a specific one. When I was in second grade, I used to live in Canada. I went to a school called St. Margaret Mary's. Now, we went there, and my older brother, Roger, also lived in Canada. Now, there was one Halloween. We didn't have any costumes. We didn't really have any money for it. But my older brother was like, man, whatever, man, forget costumes. So he just gave us wigs, right? He gave us wigs, and he painted our faces with like lipstick. I remember my face was like, it was this way, and then it was like each square, each part was just like a different color, So anyway, we went around with garbage bags. I'm talking about like kitchen garbage bags, 13-gallon garbage bags, went around the block, got that bag full of candy, okay? We go home, he was like, watch this. We changed, did a little bit of different makeup, went back around the block, filled up the garbage bag again. So that Halloween was memorable, and my older brother, Roger, he made it memorable. Probably be my best one. And yeah, because we had 2 bags full of candy. It was my brother Rodney and I. We were younger at the time, but we had 2 huge bags full of candy. So that was my most memorable Halloween.
Hey, so I have like tons of really fun Halloween memories, all kinds of crazy costumes and stuff like that. Like my mummy costume that kept falling apart, and my Ninja Turtle costume where the shell was too big for me and I kept falling over, and all that kind of stuff. But I think my favorite one wasn't even really when I was like trick-or-treating, but it's the year I decided to start scaring people. And I dressed up in this like scarecrow costume that we had put out on our porch for about a few weeks before Halloween, so people already knew there was a scarecrow on our porch. And I substituted myself for the actual scarecrow, and I put all this like newspaper inside of my costume. So if people came up, and touched it, you feel a little crinkle of the newspaper. So like, oh, they're still the scarecrow. And so like when my mom would answer the door, the kids would get the candy, and I'd stand up and scare them and stuff like that. But the best part of this was like some of my classmates from school were going around and like water ballooning people, and like some girls told us that that they were on their way down the street and they'd been hit with water balloons by these guys. So I'm like, oh yeah, we'll get them. And so like they come up and like, hey, where's Dave? And my mom's like, oh yeah, he's out trick-or-treating and stuff like that. I'm like, they're okay. And my mom's like, so you guys have been water ballooning some people? I'm like, yeah, we're just doing a prank, la 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 la. And I just stand up like, you shouldn't do that. And they like got so scared, like they fell down my front steps, and like the water balloons all went up in the air and like came crashing down on top of them. You know? So they got all the water balloons. It was great. And like the next year when they went out, you know, they're like, hey Dave, you going out and scaring people again this year? I'm like, oh no, that was a one-time thing. How people think will, you know, be expecting it this year and stuff like that. I got him again that year with a different costume. I dressed as a werewolf and hid in the bushes that time and scared the crap out of them again. They were pissed off at me. So yeah, I think that's when I started really enjoying scaring people. So yeah, that's, you know, I think this is where I, you know, a little bit of art's origins, I guess you could say. So yeah, that's my fun Halloween memory. Hope to kill you all soon in Terrifier 2, coming out hopefully next year. Early next year, I mean. It is coming out next year. I don't know what I'm talking about. I need coffee. Y'all take care. Kill you soon.
Hey fiends, I hope you're doing well as we have been celebrating Halloween the whole month of October. And this is really awesome for me because DonnaJean's Coffee House of Horror, in conjunction with nERD, have been doing a new thing, a shot of espresso. And for this last shot of espresso of the month, I am here with my favorite human being in the world, my favorite illustrator, who is my daughter, Jennifer Rogers. And we're going to talk about our favorite Halloween memories.
Hey, everybody.
I can't imagine someplace that would be more right for me to talk about my favorite Halloween memories because they all revolve around Jennifer. And Halloween is all about children. It's all about kids. It's all about what we can do for them, with them. And my favorite memories are actually a period of time when Jennifer was a wee little person and she loved princesses and she loved all of the Disney characters. And quite often she was a princess. Once she was a genie. And we would take her out trick-or-treating with me and some of our friends. And I would be dressed as a vampire with my teeth falling out. Or dressed as a witch. And my friends would be dressed as zombies and all these scary things. And Jennifer would be there just grinning away, dressed as her beautiful princess self. And those memories, to me, are always about what Halloween is. And then one other thing, when she was a bit older and didn't go out trick-or-treating anymore, my daughter is amazing. She can make herself look so terrifying.
That's true.
And she would wander around the streets in our neighborhood to scare the children, unless they were wee little ones, when she would say, "It's okay, I'm not going to hurt you," and give them a piece of candy. And Halloween is my favorite time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And spending it with Jen has been one of the most wonderful things in my life. So,
Aww.
What are your thoughts about Halloween?
Well, Halloween has always been a pretty big part of my life, I feel. Just a love of spookiness. It's that love of spookiness just concentrated in one beautiful day. But since you already covered the childhood stuff, that was so fun. And you remember it better than I do.
I do.
I'm gonna go with something more from my adulthood and what it has come to mean to me now. I remember, I don't know, not too long after my husband and I moved in together at the apartment we lived in before this one, we didn't really have a house front that we could decorate. It wasn't really ours. It was a shared doors, so we couldn't really do all that fun stuff like putting up scary decorations and having a walk that the kids had to like woo walk down. But we did our best, and one Halloween with my good friend Annalisa, we all dressed up. Annalisa and I were Silent Hill nurses, and I love Silent Hill, so creepy, and our costumes were so good.
They were so good.
And Russell, my husband, was dressed as sort of a scary toy soldier, and all of our faces were totally covered, and we did this thing kind of like in the Silent Hill game and movie, where the nurses are just totally still in sort of a, like, I don't know, stasis mode, like if they don't hear anybody coming. But as soon as someone comes close, they start to like jerkily come to life and go after that person. And that's what we did, is we were just totally still like statues. I don't know how we nailed it, but we nailed it. We were terrifying. And all the kids came by, and we of course gave them candy, but also terrified them all. And it was definitely a continuation of what we'd already been doing. But I don't know, it felt like this town is my home. This is the tradition I'm bringing here to my new home. And I want to pass on these traditions of being scared, but also having fun with it. And yeah, I don't know, it meant a lot to me to find that is the purpose of Halloween for me now, is spreading joy and fear to children. And we've kept doing it. We've gotten more elaborate now that we've had our own home. We still don't have a lot of space out front, but we do our best.
It's nice to be the scary house.
It's great to be the scary house, and yeah, we're the scary house. And yeah, you can't make the new generations take up these traditions and pass them forward. All you can do is share this love with them and hope it resonates with them. And things have changed a lot over the years, of course, but I know that love of horror, of encountering things that scare you in a safe way, that thing that anyone watching this video shares, it's just so fulfilling to share that and pass that along.
To become the horror. Have an awesome Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Halloween.